likely guessing what Wang Qi was thinking. He simply patted Wang Qi's thigh, handed him a disposable towel, and said, "Wipe yourself off. It's fine, no need to thank me. We know each other. Helping you is no trouble for me. I can't just stand by and watch." Hearing this, Wang Qi nearly shed tears. Only those who have experienced the apocalypse can truly understand the meaning behind the phrase. Not helping you is a duty, helping you is a kindness. Wang Qi choked up a bit, struggling to hold back his emotions, and replied, "I understand. Really, thank you, brother. I won't impose on you this time. Once you're done with your matters, just let me get off. I know I'm not strong, but if there's anything I can assist you with in the future, just let me know, and I'll definitely give it my all." Wang Qing looked at him and said, "I don't know what you've been through recently, but we'll discuss the rest later. For now, just stay in my vehicle." Wang Cheng didn't elaborate further, as his speed gradually decreased, nearing the location of Zhang Ruijian's team. Zhang Ruijian's vehicle was a light infantry fighting vehicle, positioned at the front of the convoy, leading the charge against the mutated creatures. At that moment, he personally emerged and, upon seeing Wang Cheng, was taken aback, exclaiming, "What a coincidence. It's you." He scrutinized Wang Cheng from head to toe without any pleasantries, directly stating, "It seems we are fated to meet. I'll be straightforward. You are an awakened one, right? Your abilities are strong. I'm currently gathering survivors to form a self-defense team to assist with our withdrawal. Are you interested in joining? Rest assured, as long as you join, I guarantee you won't lack supplies and will be provided with weapons and ammunition. As for safety, you don't need to worry too much. We will place you behind our lines. It would be unrealistic to say there won't be any danger, but you won't have to face the mutated creatures directly." Zhang Ruijian's straightforward personality, combined with the tense situation around them, made his words blunt and direct, as he eagerly looked at Wang Cheng, clearly hoping he would join. Now is the time to recruit talent. Someone who can take down a mutated toad in one strike is definitely a skilled individual, precisely the kind of talent they need. Wang Cheng was momentarily taken aback by the words. He initially intended to agree, hoping to take advantage of the situation and gather more energy points. However, he didn't expect that working for Zhang Ruijian would come with so many benefits. The abundance of supplies was one thing, as Wang Cheng was not lacking in that regard. But being provided with weapons and ammunition was something Wang Cheng hadn't anticipated. Under the assurance of safety, wouldn't this be the best way to acquire energy points? Weapons and ammunition? Do I, as an awakened individual, really qualify for that? Of course, Zhang Ruijian replied with a smile. While awakened individuals possess abilities, they still need weapons. But can you use them? Wang Cheng nodded and squinted. Of course I can use them, but when it comes to killing mutated creatures, ammunition runs out quickly. Zhang Ruijian was momentarily stunned, catching the implication in Wang Cheng's words. He couldn't help but chuckle and said generously, "Ammunition runs out quickly? How fast can you use it? If you're saying you're particularly wasteful, I might need to worry about my already limited supplies. But with ammunition, use as much as you want. Just don't waste it. Once it's used up, you can apply for more. The military has plenty of weapons. What they lack is manpower." Hearing this, Wang Cheng nodded directly. "All right, I'm willing to join, but I have one condition. I have a friend." Chapter 65, The Mutated Giant Snake. "Really? You're letting me join too?" Wang Qi looked at Wang Cheng with some surprise. After Wang Cheng and Zhang Ruijian finished their discussion, he asked Wang Qi if he would like to join the military's survivor self-defense team. Wang Cheng laid out all the pros and cons, concluding, "By joining the self-defense team, I might be able to help you, but not much. I have my own things to do, and you'll have to rely on yourself." Wang Qi hesitated for a moment, gritted his teeth, and said, "Why not join? I've heard of this survivor self-defense team. Aside from the dangers, the military provides guns and food. If things go well, there's even a chance to transfer into the army later. Some people want to join but can't. Without this opportunity from you, I wouldn't even have a choice, and it's definitely better than my current situation, regardless of how it turns out." This was precisely what Wang Cheng was thinking. But he didn't say it out loud, as it was ultimately someone else's decision and not something he could casually influence. As for this opportunity, perhaps others valued it highly, but to Zhang Ruijian, it was merely a small favor, nothing significant, and their relationship wasn't particularly deep. In fact, Wang Cheng also inquired about Su Xinghai and Zhang Chao from Zhang Ruijian, but unfortunately, Zhang Ruijian didn't know. He didn't even recognize the officer Wang Cheng mentioned, only comforting him that he would surely meet his friends at the temporary gathering point established by the military. Wang Cheng had no choice but to pause his search for now. Although he was worried, he could only temporarily set those thoughts aside. Zhang Ruijian said he valued Wang Cheng, but in his eyes, Wang Cheng was just a capable awakener. Once everything was arranged, there was nothing more to say, and he wouldn't actively help Wang Cheng find people, which Wang Cheng understood. At this moment, Wang Cheng nodded and said, "All right, I promise, Captain Zhang. So you can follow me for now. Let's report to the designated location together." The same young soldier led the way. guiding Wang Chung and the others to a certain defensive position on the side of the convoy. Here, there were 2 military vehicles and about 7 or 8 soldiers guarding a defensive line, with gunfire ringing out. By the time Wang Chung and his group arrived, many other recruited survivors were already there, including several awakeners and ordinary people, all armed. Whether they were awakeners or ordinary individuals, they were shooting and cooperating with the military soldiers to defend this direction. As they advanced, most people were concentrated around a large bus, while those with their own vehicles followed behind. Just as Zhang Ruizhen had promised, these organized survivors not only had weapons and supplies, but their line was positioned behind the military soldiers. If mutated creatures attacked, the first to face them would be the military vehicles and the soldiers in front. Only if they were breached would the organized survivors be in danger. Wang Qi and Wang Chung were also issued weapons. Wang Qi then left Wang Cheng's vehicle and went to the central bus where most people were gathered. Since Wang Chung had his own vehicle, he drove alone, following behind and also firing his weapon. Watching Wang Chung clutching his gun and boarding the crowded bus ahead, Wang Chung felt an indescribable emotion. Since their last parting, Wang Qi had clearly undergone significant changes. Previously, he had exhibited the mindset of a university student, with his thoughts written all over his face, openly expressing himself and even calling Wang Chung big shot. But this time, he spoke much less and didn't he dare to ask Wang Chung for help directly. Without Wang Chung saying anything, he took the initiative to get off Wang Cheng's vehicle. Wang Chung understood Wang Qi's intentions. He was grateful for Wang Cheng's rescue, but he recognized the gap between them and didn't want to depend on Wang Chung, even distancing himself from their previous bond. He had once been a student, but now he had rapidly matured. Seeing Wang Qi, Wang Chung saw a reflection of himself. He, too, was an ordinary university student. If he hadn't had the system or the chance to be reborn, he might have lived just as ordinary a life as Wang Qi. Perhaps the best he could have achieved would be to become someone like Wang Qi. Thinking of this, Wang Chung sighed. It wasn't that he didn't want to bring Wang Qi along, but he had too many secrets. Trust was fragile. Having Wang Qi in his vehicle might lead to more trouble. If Wang Qi developed any ill intentions or spoke out of turn, they could easily become mortal enemies. That was something neither of them wanted to see. Perhaps Wang Qi was already aware of this. However, with Wang Chung at the back of the convoy, he could still keep an eye on Wang Qi even if he was in another vehicle. Wang Chung was still willing to help when he could. The convoy was moving slowly forward. Wang Chung received a rifle from a soldier and, after a brief training session, was ready to join the battle. Although the recruitment of Wang Chung was taken seriously by the group, the ongoing conflicts made the situation dire everywhere. On the battlefield, an individual was just an inconspicuous presence. Who could pay attention to whom? Upon arriving here, Wang Chung found himself in a nearly unmanaged state. Even the firearm he received was handed over with minimal oversight. The soldier who gave him the rifle only confirmed that Wang Chung was not an absolute novice before leaving. Everyone had their own roles. The military was short on personnel, but had enough weapons and ammunition at this stage. Wang Chung took a glance at the convoy behind him, hoping to spot Xia Ran's figure to avoid any potential retaliation. However, the long convoy and his current position made it impossible to see where Xia Ran was. Holding the rifle tightly, Wang Chung blended into the group, driving slowly while following the main force's retreat. He extended the gun out of the window, multitasking as he aimed and fired. Firing while moving at a low speed was not difficult for him. As he left Ping Song Shopping Mall and Haicheng University behind, his energy points began to rise rapidly. Amidst such a large group, Wang Chung did not need to hunt mutated creatures on his own. With the military serving as the first line of defense ahead, he saved a lot of time and energy by waiting for the mutants to come to him, resulting in high efficiency in hunting. Other survivors were eager for the convoy to move faster to shake off the surrounding monsters, but for Wang Chung, the slow pace was actually a good thing, giving him ample time to hunt the mutants. His gun blended in with those of the many survivors and soldiers, making it inconspicuous. When he ran out of ammunition, he quickly requested more, and he had hardly used his own supplies. The survivors in the vehicles ahead were tense and nervous as they fought off the mutated creatures, while Wang Chung was exhilarated, feeling like he was leveling up in a game. His energy points were rapidly climbing. 130 energy points, 150 energy points, 170 energy points. This efficiency was something Wang Chung had never imagined before, far exceeding what he had experienced when collaborating with Su Xinghai and Zhang Chao. He felt as if he were in a game, constantly leveling up. There were so many mutants around that he couldn't finish them all, and his only concern was that he might tire out from shooting. But Wang Chung believed that if he continued like this, it wouldn't be long before his total energy points would exceed 300. While Wang Chung was busy hunting mutants, inside the bus ahead, Wang Qi was gradually becoming more familiar with the situation, occasionally glancing gratefully towards Wang Chung. After getting onto the bus, he met a few people and realized that most of them were survivors who had experience with firearms, even some veterans, which was why they were grouped here. The military would not employ true, ordinary people who had no skills.